Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Mr. Speaker, there's been a lot of talk about the arbitrary sending out by our Secretary of State of unsolicited absentee ballot applications. And I know there's been a lot of talk about the costs of that. What I've heard in relation to that is it's been close to $1 million, but the feds have had to pay for it, so it's not coming from us. Well, you know, that money still comes from the taxpayers. So, Mr. Speaker, the clerk is in possession of an amendment. It's 6002. I asked, no, it's LCO 3777.
Will the clerk please call LCO 3777, which will be designated House Amendment Schedule B.
House Amendment Schedule B, LCO number 3777, offered by Representative Candelora, Representative France et al.
The representative seeks leave of the chamber to summarize the amendment. Is there objection to summarization? Is there objection? Hearing none. Representative Fishbein, you may proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. All this amendment does is it merely adds a section on that precludes the Secretary of State from mailing unsolicited applications for absentee ballots to any person. Therefore, we would be saving, ultimately, the taxpayers' money. In fact, the fiscal note reflects that not mailing these applications will result in a savings to the state of Connecticut. They're unable to quantify that based upon, we don't know how many they would mail out. We know with this current round that allegedly every registered voter in the state of Connecticut got a absentee ballot application. We also know that people that are not even alive got those absentee ballot applications. We know that people that have moved have gotten those absentee ballot applications. I don't know anybody in the state of Connecticut could find that to be a fiscally prudent action by its government. You know, unfortunately, when you have the checkbook and you can do whatever you want, sometimes you don't always balance that checkbook. So, Your Honor, I would hope that everyone supports the amendment, and that is all that I have. Thank you.
The question before the chamber is adoption of House Amendment Schedule B. Will you remark on the amendment? Will you remark on the amendment? The Speaker recognizes Representative Ritter.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I would ask that when this vote be taken by roll call vote. I know we have small numbers in the chamber, and people may sort of forget that because it would be natural to do a roll call vote since nobody's in here, but I'll just ask for it formally. But the assumption should be that all votes will be roll call vote. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. When the vote is taken, it will be taken via roll call. Will you remark further on the amendment before us? Will you remark further on the amendment before us? If not, I will try your minds. All those. Representative Fox.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I just, receiving the amendment a moment ago and reviewing it, I asked my colleagues to not support the amendment. I think it's a policy decision, in which, one of which I do not support or agree with, and therefore ask the amendment be rejected. Through you, Mr. Speaker.
Representative Ritter.
Sorry, Mr. Speaker. Just for folks watching in their offices, this, again, to clarify what Chairman Fox said, the amendment would prohibit the Secretary of State from mailing applications out, which has already happened for the August primary, so I assume it applies to November. I am asking the Democratic caucus to vote against the amendment. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Representative. Will staff and guests please come to the well of the House? Will the members please take your seats? The machine will be open.
The House of Representatives is voting by roll. The machine is now open. The House of Representatives is voting by roll. The machine is now open.
Have all the members voted? Have all members voted? Will the members please check the board to determine if your vote is properly cast? If all members have voted, the machine will be locked and the clerk will take a tally. The chair recognizes Representative Davitsky.
Mr. Speaker.
Representative Davitsky?
I ask that my vote be registered in the affirmative, please.
The clerk will record your vote in the affirmative. Mr. Clerk, please call Representative Rosario in the negative. Representative Perillo?
Mr. Speaker, thank you for the indulgence. I ask that my vote be recorded in the affirmative.
Will the clerk recognize the vote? Representative Winkler?
Mr. Speaker, I ask that my vote be recorded in the negative.
Representative Fishbein?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I ask that my vote be registered in the affirmative. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Are there any other votes in the chamber that need to be acknowledged? Representative Mashinsky?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My computer threw me off the voting. I would like to vote in the negative, please.
Thank you. If all members have voted, the machine will be locked and the clerk will take a tally. The clerk will announce the tally.
House Amendment Schedule B, total number voting 146, necessary for adoption 74, those voting A 55, those voting A 91, absent not voting 5.
Amendment fails.